Oh, shoot.
And down to the 5-yard line, finally tackled by the defense. He is wide open in the flat, and they were able to get the ball to him.
Luckily, the Bulldogs are now in striking distance to score a touchdown.
Yes, they are, Hendricks. First and goal from the 5, and they can get the tying touchdown. And let's tie this baby up. Tim Meyer.
Hey, is this Tim Meyer?
I said Tim Meyer.
Sweet. Hey, is the MITT broadcasting the game tonight?
Yeah, we're broadcasting the game tonight, kid.
Tim, we're live!
Yeah, I was just wondering if you knew how to watch the game live.
Sure, I know how you can watch the game live. You got your phone on you?
Yeah.
Well, listen to this. The Mitt TV broadcast Romeo High School sporting events live so you don't have to miss a minute of the action. Just download the YouTube app on your smartphone or television. Type @ the Mitt TV in the search bar. Click on our channel, then the Live tab to find all previous and upcoming live events, including sports. And don't forget to subscribe.
Oh, thanks, Tim. I really owe you... Sick.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this exciting TV broadcast. We'll see you tomorrow, the day after that, and the day after that, because that's the way we broadcast news, and that's the way you consume entertainment. Won't change anytime soon. For the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer. Tim Meyer.
You Tim Meyer?
I said Tim Meyer.
They said you were coming.
Is what they say true?
See for yourself.
What's this?
They call it a podcast studio.
What the heck's a podcast studio?
It's a studio for podcasting. Superior sound, visuals, allowing the viewer to either watch or listen for an intimate experience of long-form content.
Long-form content?
Without any restrictions from any cable or network provider, there's no telling how long it can be.
Is it affordable?
You have no idea.
What's he doing?
Found him here in the studio. Recent college graduate trying to start a podcast with his friends after debating the existence of God in women's sports.
How come I can't hear him?
Stephenville's is spying us through the intergalactic satellite system. Also buy my merch with my special creator code.
How long before this becomes accessible?
It already has.
If you or someone you know is looking to start a podcast for business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. With hourly rates starting as low as $1.60 an hour, the Mitt TV grants access to state-of-the-art podcast studio, allowing you to record perfect audio, amazing video for your audience. Contact the Mitt TV today at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. Job stinks.
think we are good to go. All right, it is Thursday, November 6th, 2025. It is 7 p.m. This is the Village of Romeo Planning Commission meeting. All right, we will call the meeting to order. And let's pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Fowler.
Here.
Grandstaff.
Here.
Hale.
Here.
Hall is excused. Minton.
Here.
Bill Parker.
Yes.
Justin Parker.
Present.
Mellon is excused. Webb.
Here.
All right, we have approval of the minutes from the October 2nd, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Yeah, anyone, I'll make
Support.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, approval of tonight's agenda. Anyone have anything?
So moved.
Mr. Grandstaff, you made motion? Was that,
Approve the agenda?
yes?
I'll
Right.
second. It's your call, if you wanna.
I thought that's what I thought he said.
No, the question is whether or not we're gonna offer a recommendation to the village council on their,
That's, if you would like to add that to
Okay.
the agenda, now would be the time.
Yes,
I think we should.
okay. All right, would you repeat that one more time?
But there's already a motion.
Withdraw your motion, please.
All right, I withdraw my motion.
Okay, one more time. All right, Mr. Parker.
The village council, at their last meeting, started discussing the payment in lieu, more particularly as it relates to residences in the commercial district. And I think we should add that as a new business item in there someplace, that we could make a recommendation on it or not, depending upon how the other members of the board feel.
Okay.
Would you like to make a motion to approve the agenda, adding new business item C, payment in lieu of?
In residential, yes, I would. Justin said it perfectly.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna add this to new business item C. It would say recommendation to, it's for the payment in lieu of parking.
As it relates to, in the central business district.
Discussion, thank you, I'm gonna, discussion.
So that's your motion, Bill?
Yep.
I'll support it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that brings us to public comments. If there is anyone that is here this evening that would like to make a comment. All right. Ex officio report.
I was gonna discuss that we did have a conversation, I was not present at last month's meeting, but they did talk about the payment in lieu of. And then they also talked about the short-term rental ordinance was brought up that this board had previously recommended to be sent, finally got put on October's. I wasn't there, they decided to postpone that until next month. And I was present, so if anyone would like to speak on either one of those topics at the meeting during public comment, express your opinions or thoughts on that, I would enjoy you all coming.
Thank you. All right, ZBA representative report.
I am not on the ZBA, so
I know. We,
maybe Sarah is.
right, Sarah and I discussed that we, need a new ZBA representative. But I do have, a trustee here that is also on the, ZBA member. Is that, if this, if planning members here feel that they would like to hear, she can give us a report of what they discussed at ZBA, if that's.
Is anything scheduled with the ZBA?
They trapped us in.
The ZBA met in October. We hadn't met for several months prior to that. There were 2 items on the agenda, well, 3. We nominated a chair and then a vice chair, so there are only 3 members on the ZBA at this point. So if there's anyone you know that might be interested, please, refer them forward. We had 2 items. One of them was the old Fred's Market on North Bailey and Gates, residential, currently being used as a photography studio. And they requested to be used as a wellness studio with 2 offices, a yoga studio, and wellness therapy, which is IV therapy for people. It did not meet any of the 6 criteria. However, it did pass. So that's happening. And then the second one was, and I believe it's on your agenda tonight, a property where they want to develop and we're asking for variances on all sides and setbacks to the approximately 61% reduction in variance, which would make the front yard about 9 feet from the sidewalk. There was much discussion about it, and it did not meet all of the criteria, but that did pass as well. That's it.
Thank you.
Shelley, how did the
Appreciate that.
vote come down?
Pardon me?
How did the vote come down? You said it did not pass. Or it did pass, was it unanimous or?
Yes,
You're
two
fine.
of the ZBA representatives voted for it, 1 did not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
And-
very much.
Yep.
All right, correspondence. There were three letters that came into the village office. And those are in your packet. Do we need to read those, or we don't? If they're in everyone's packets or part of
The 2 were in your packet last month, but we tabled it, and so I just
Okay.
included them again. And then the other one I just received in the mail a couple weeks ago, so I figured I would include it as
Okay.
well. But if,
Was it asked to be read?
no.
Okay.
It's in the packet, it's part of the record too.
Right, it's part
It's
part of
online.
it on the documents on demand, so we're covered there. Okay, all right, thank you. All right. All right, so that brings us to new business. Item A, this is for 315 Washington Street. It's the site plan review. It is for parcel ID 280402203008.
So tonight we have a site plan review for 153 Washington, which is located in the multifamily district. The applicant is proposing 2 rows of 4 townhomes, which will provide 8 townhouses in total. The townhouses will be 2 stories in height, each with a porch and a back deck. The facade will
Karen,
consist of
can I stop
siding.
you just real quick, and I
Sure.
apologize. We had another one placed at the table.
Oh, there was an error in one of my reviews. That must be the updated review.
So the one that was in the packet, we disregarded for now?
You can't, there is a 1-sentence change, and basically, I forgot to finish my sentence on landscaping. That is the only difference between the 2.
Thank you.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, it's okay. The facade will consist of siding. There's going to be 2 parking areas, one proposed at the north and the other proposed at the south, and they will provide a total of 26 parking spaces. The site plan before us meets the requirements for lot area, minimum floor area, maximum height. They met the front yard setback. The plan does not meet the perimeter yards setback, however, they were able to obtain a variance The side yards are 14 feet, and the rear yard is 38 feet, which deviates from the required 40 feet for the perimeter yards. They're required to have 20 parking spaces based on the units. They're providing 26, and the parking layout meets the standards of the ordinance for 90-degree parking in a residential area. The applicant has provided a landscaping plan, which consists of crabapple trees and maple trees, and they have indicated that there will be lighting. However, at the time of my review, the lighting details weren't provided, and it stipulates that light at the property line must not exceed 1/10 foot candle at the side and rear, nor greater than 1/2 foot candle at the front. So those are our lighting requirements for the residential district. I believe the applicant has brought an updated siting plan with some more details about the lighting. I would recommend approval of the site plan if the details provided do indicate that that exterior lighting does meet that requirement. And that's what I have to say about this tonight.
Okay, I got my list. I do have a couple questions on here for the applicant, if I may. Got my list. As far as I see in there that there are full basements, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
These units, and that will, laundry facility be in the basement?
No, it's actually up on the second floor with the bedrooms.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, that was the Mohawk.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's too much to do 2 sets of stairs
Right.
every
Nope,
time. So
I
it's right there in the
understand.
hallway.
Okay, I didn't see that on there. And then, but the basements will provide for that storage area, right? It's that,
Yep. Yeah, they're
required.
finished insulated on the outside and inside
okay, so
insulated.
that, all right, check that.
And they also have the egress window every basement.
Okay,
So
that was, all
Clear.
right. Then my next question is, regarding to the parking spaces. Because, our planner has 26 spaces on her site plan review. And are we counting the one that's next to the handicap, is that considered a space? The reason I ask is I did a little digging into the ADA, the accessible.
Yeah.
And I know up to 25 only needs the one handicap, but if we're saying there's 26 spots, then we need to have 2 handicap, I believe.
Does your ordinance say that, or is that?
The ordinance says refer to the state, because I did check that, and so the state says it's after 25 is 1, but 26 to 50 would require 2. And so I wasn't sure, because I counted 25, but then I don't know if it's one of those where those lines are at, where it's for like a van, is that considered a space, or is that? I just wanted to
Yeah. I thought it was 25.
count.
I don't think that's a parking spot. That's not, that's bad, isn't it? You see the line?
Right, because there was that part up there, I wasn't sure if those were the parking spots at the north
Oh, yeah,
end.
because there's a tree in it.
Where there's a tree.
right there, so it is 25.
Okay, so there is only 25.
Parking spots.
All right, so then this is good, we meet that, okay, that was, I said I just checked that out there. All right,
So I guess, based on what was, any space that could be deemed as a living space, just advise that he's gonna have egress windows in the basement, which could lead to further usage. We should require that parking held then, that space requirement, if there's the potential to have other living space within the dwelling.
Well, I mean,
I still have 5 extra spaces. I'm 5 spaces over.
he's got more spaces than he's required, he's only required to
I
have 20
understand,
for the
but being
units.
that-
saying there's potential.
There's potential now for
Okay.
more living spaces
Because
within
it's
the
the egress
basement
window?
because of an egress.
I don't think we can hold people to
It's,
what could be
it's
done in
clearly
the future.
defined in
Yeah,
there, it's in here, you can require that.
I don't know why we would do that, though.
And any space that would be deemed usable for a bedroom egress, you have to include that.
So every
If it's
bedroom
considered-
has to have a spot? Is that what the requirement is?
Whatever the requirement would be for depending how many bedrooms would be accessible to an egress.
Well, you'd only have one bedroom in each unit, it's possible.
Possible, so you'd have
There's
an
only one
egress
egress
window, so
window,
you had to
and the other
determine
end
it
will
to
have
be
no window. 'cause it's
A space that could be used for a bedroom. I think it's over 100 square foot or something like that.
It would, I mean, it would meet the qualifications for a bedroom unless built out to be.
Right,
But
so they're just, it's just a
per our,
basement.
per that, saying anything like a den or study, any room that's defined like that could be considered and would be,
So we're gonna define a basement as possible.
if you put an egress window, yes.
Well, it's actually code to have an egress
Because
I
window.
You're
know,
required
so
to have-
then,
yeah,
then
not-
that's
not-
potentially
can't
be a
now.
third bedroom.
I mean, then you
That's-
would never be able to build units like this.
I could get rid of the basements if it would make you happier.
No, I'm just, based
I'm
on the
just-
ordinance, that's
No,
what it says.
right.
I mean, I could get rid of the basements, I'm offering them space and storage and all.
Right,
I mean,
because you-
when you're in an apartment, you're lacking space,
Yeah.
so that's why I
But then you
kind
can
of
make
went
the
with the
basement, and you
basements.
still need the storage space.
I still
Right.
feel differently too, because as a condo, they could change them, but these are apartments, they're gonna be they're gonna be single owner for the life of being apartments.
Yeah, they're
You don't
apartment
have to
buildings.
approve anything that's being done.
If I ever changed them over to condos, I'd have to come in front of you guys again, obviously.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then that's an issue at that time, to me.
I have a
Yeah, I don't know,
question.
I work in apartments all the time, and basements in these situations are almost always used as a living space.
Even if they did, how many spots would I have to have
Yeah,
if
I'm
we
not sure.
added it?
What's the
What would
requirement for
I guess
a
that's
third
the question,
bedroom?
is 5 spots enough to cover that?
Your off-street parking ordinance is still off of your digital zoning ordinance,
Yeah, so that would be,
so I don't have access to that.
Have you done any soil testing there?
Soil testing?
Yeah, digging.
I did, like, right over, like, I built Angelica's place.
Sorry?
I built Angelica's place from the ground up. I mean, I know the soil in town, I've
The
pretty
area
much,
has a notoriously high fluctuating water table.
yeah, over there it does, but it's
This
about,
site does not.
no, I didn't say my site doesn't, but every basement will have a sub pump in it, so I'll have 8 sub pumps, so it will be covered for water. In case one goes out, I'll have the rest covering it, so it's actually a better situation. Because. If that makes sense? To fight the water, each unit will have 4 sub pumps in each unit, whereas the house would only have like.
I think it's still fine.
Yeah, I guess that's where I was going, because I know from having sold
still
some of those buildings.
We're not counting on just one sub pump per building.
You've got a water table.
4 pumps that, so if one kicks out, another.
Yeah, it would be. it'd be
I know
20
there's a
it'd be
water
24.
table
It'd still
problem.
be fine.
Everybody
Because it's a half a space.
who's
for
done
an
anything
additional.
around that area
So
knows that.
He still would meet
So, yeah,
his.
so if.
It's still-
if
you'd still be
all
good,
those
yeah.
basements were used as,
So can I get approval to use those basements as another bedroom then in that case? If an option, if a person was to want it?
I don't know, how does it apply to
He just
density?
did that to it.
I mean, does that matter if, well, I'm just questioning.
Yeah.
You brought it up, I might as well question.
Right.
if you upped it to 3 bedrooms in theory, so for the 2-bedroom units that you said you're gonna do, you need so many square feet per lot. And so if you bumped it up to 3, stating it's definitely gonna be 3,
You would
then
exceed
that might
the
increase
density.
that, and you're at 21,895 square feet, and for the 2 bedrooms, you needed 21,600 square feet. So as 3 bedrooms, it's possible it could put you out of that threshold.
Well, I was just wondering.
It's a good question.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it.
And
Karen?
then, can I just ask a couple, this is just the builder. I just gotta ask questions, right, sorry. All right, so you've got, the water main, it's in Washington Street, right? And that, but then, sewer hookups are at the, in the alley
Yep.
behind it, okay. So, where are the closest, I don't know if you know, like, we got fire hydrants on Washington Street or in the alley?
Yeah,
Okay,
they're on Washington
They
Street.
are.
okay. Because I think that was just one of my concerns, like the way that the units are positioned. That we're not too far away from, I got like water access, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Yeah.
thinking like fire, ALS stuff.
No,
because
yeah,
they're-
I'm sure
Okay,
it's within, the whole town's probably plotted for that. I guess.
right. And then I also had a question, and this might be a question for our planner. In our ordinance. Going back to the setbacks, the yard setbacks. I know zoning approved the side and the rear yards, but on the front yard setback, it says you need a minimum of 25 feet. And there's 35 on the north, which is the front, so it'd be Washington Street up to the building, right? It says there is 35. But the question I had was the parking. Because I guess this might be a question for the planner. So I've got in Article 11 of our zoning, when it talks about the setbacks, we're doing the rear to rear, so they should be 80 feet. They got the variance for the 49.98. But then there's that little note underneath that says parking may be permitted in a portion of the required yard, provided that there shall be at least 25 feet of yard space between the parking and the building. And, I mean, I'm looking at that, does that come into play here? Because if I've got 20-foot parking spaces, and I'm 35 to the building, if I take that 20 off, I'm only at 15 feet instead of 25? That was...
Because you are allowed to have parking that directly back
Onto the street.
into the street.
Yeah.
But
With that
the-
width.
The unit right next door, that's, I pretty much replicated the unit in the neighborhood, because the way
Right.
the zoning was designed according to the old plan when I bought the line of the property, that I would have had to come to ZBA, because it was zoned for multi, but those lots were purposed differently than the open area zoning ordinance that we have. So it's kind of like we have to work with those lots. So like the neighbor lot, they had, right there at the corner at Hagen and Washington, they back up and then they just have their sidewalks. And I actually gave a little more room than them.
I just want to make sure, I just want for my own clarification, because what I see here and what I read here, I just want to make sure I'm interpreting it.
And you want to see it here?
I have it.
Okay.
See where there's like that little asterisk behind where it says the rear to rear is 80 feet, but then it says on there that the parking.
Front to front, 60, front to rear. That's right. So, build that asterisk.
I have a question for the planner, if I could.
Oh, she's looking up this right now.
I-
Yeah, give her a sec.
Because I might have to look up something else too. What's your question, Bill?
Each of the buildings are back to each other, I get that. They're actually facing the backs of other buildings. And how in the world do we define front or back, or is it just whatever somebody puts on the paper?
Your front yard is where, what street are you having access to, I guess, correct?
Right,
It's your
because that's
frontage.
always considered the front yard.
It just seems odd
The street
that-
side is always considered the front, even if the
Buildings
building's
that are
turned.
facing the back of another building, it's tough to call them the front.
Andrew wants to say something. No.
Between said parking and the building, okay, it was not 25 feet. Apparently.
Washington Street's the front,
For both buildings?
yes.
You can't
Just
be.
by the way the state law works. You have one front.
So then the decks are the front of the back building? So this rear-to-rear variance doesn't apply
No,
then?
the side of the buildings are the front.
Because they're
Yeah, the
facing
side.
sideways.
The side
Oh,
of
side,
five and the
okay,
side of
yeah,
four
yeah,
are the front.
I see what you're saying.
The buildings are turned to the front.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
However,
yeah,
the
yeah,
front,
The fronts
Is
are
Washington
facing those
Street.
other buildings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the,
But
and the alley is in the rear.
the
Yeah.
front yard is
Yeah, I see
still
what you-
off of Washington Street.
yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
But if I pushed it to the back, I'd end up losing all them trees and stuff. I was trying to just keep it even.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
I know.
I have the room to push it to the back and give you that.
I'm just waiting to see what the,
Yeah, that's all I said, that was
I was trying to give some trees in the back instead of just parking on the building.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want, that would be the end result, you would just push it to the back and then
What's the rear
You would lose the
setback?
trees.
49.98. As approved by variance.
That's building to building variance.
Oh, is it?
There's only 10 feet.
See,
of-
that's where it's
That is
sticky, because it says rear to rear, and it's talking between buildings, right? So if the
Yeah.
variance is for between the buildings, or is it for the rear setback?
Yeah.
It's for between buildings, because the way they, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the rear
It's almost like
setback.
I should have split each building in, because there is two parcels there, the way it's designed. So you would almost have to look at it as two individual parcels, really. I mean, I could split it if it would make it easier.
I would not split it.
But still, then do you meet,
I would not
do you
split
meet
it
the
if I were
rear
you.
I know,
setback?
but then I would only have side yards, and then I would have my
38,
front and back, and it'd make life easier for
in that
everybody.
back.
Because then I would only, I wouldn't have to have the 40 feet, I would only have to have.
Where's
nine- Or, you know.
What is the rear setback?
It's hard to bank parking. if you split
It's
it,
40.
too.
I don't know, it's just a tough, it's a tight lot.
You need
I'm just trying to replicate all
40
the other
on the
units
rear,
in the
which would be
area. is
that.
really what I
Well,
want.
the one across the street's actually larger, and he's got 6 units on it.
Yeah,
38.
the one at the corner there, next to the.
So he doesn't meet the rear yard
The,
setback.
the
West
new,
side.
the
So
new
that was where
ranch is
he got
across
the-
the street.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's
there.
what he got that.
He's got 30
Yeah,
units.
it's a larger site, and he's got 6 units.
Yeah.
That's why they
But his
moved
units
that,
are much
because
bigger,
he's
too.
short.
I'm just trying to keep them affordable.
Yeah, it's from building to building.
Oh, rears.
Yeah,
But when it's, you know,
right.
Oh,
when it's a
okay, so
setback
it is,
to a
he did
rear-
get a rear yard
to the
setback.
building,
Yes.
to the
Oh,
rear
okay,
line.
okay.
The only
never mind.
one that I'm
That's
asking about is that front yard setback,
Yeah,
where
okay.
it says the
If you
25.
call this the rear
For
line,
younger couples,
and this,
there's no
the
rentals.
rears,
you know,
that's
to be
that
had,
number.
Really, for anybody.
Not- it's not from building to building measurement.
Yeah,
It is short of
Oh.
that's why it's 8.
turn your mic on and just hit the little red
Okay.
button.
So he's got,
Sorry.
his-
Sorry about that.
so the front yard setback, it's required to be 25, and you said he's got
25 from the
you
parking.
said 18.
25 feet of yard space between the parking area and the building. And so if, for Washington, counting that,
You got 35.4.
This is the
35,
front,
You got 15.4.
regardless of
So
which
he's
way they're facing.
lacking
And
on the
they're
front.
supposed to have 25 feet of grass.
And then I guess the parking in the rear,
And they don't.
oh no, the rear's
The rear's already been approved by the
for the
ZBA.
building.
Yeah, the building, that's what's odd
For
about
the
it. That's the building,
building, not-
because it's
not
actually, I think, yeah,
Else is to do that in that. These are
like I
existing
have two different
buildings.
things going on at the same
Yeah.
time. It's
This
kind of
way.
crazy, to be honest.
So
Because that's also
the front of these things.
We're just trying to make these small
So
lots
18
work,
in the
because we're
back.
kind of at a hardship is what it comes
rear
down
yard's
to.
38
15
feet.
of rear, so
See it?
Yeah, but the rest of the
short
stuff
on
is just
10
zoning
off of
assessments.
Washington,
It's 38, 14, 14.
and then
13.
He's got the 38.
short, yeah, short 13 on
Okay, so I guess then,
All the.
I guess then my question becomes, so we have the ZBA did a variance for the sides,
Which happened to be the front. It's
right? Side yards and the rear yard and the rear to rear, those are, the only thing that was not approved by them was a front yard setback, which needs 25, but we have 15 feet.
I guess the only thing they didn't
So-
approve was the parking setbacks.
Okay,
So instead of having that 25 between the parking area and the building, this plan shows 18 and 15 and 13 for the grassy yard.
okay. And you need 25, is what we're saying.
25.
Okay.
Hmm.
So it needs a variance for that, is that what you're
Yes, it looks
saying?
like that is the case.
Okay. So. Well, okay then. So I guess it's gotta go back to, for the ZBA again, is that what's?
If we, yeah.
But if the ZBA deemed the front of the, as the side, wouldn't that change that?
Your frontage is whatever street you're having what is your
Yeah.
main street for access?
But the
So
way
it's
they put the
Washington.
rear yard to rear, and, you know what I mean, the way it
Well,
was.
so we have written on here, side yard, 14, 14.
Yep.
And in that same box, 38 rear. So
'Cause
you're
it's
already
just the
at,
perimeter. They have a front for RM, you have a perimeter yard, or you have the perimeter yards, which is everything but your front yard.
Oh,
And it's that whole perimeter that's not the front yard that needs to be.
so if you slid it back, you'd be into the variance to rear already.
Hmm?
If he slid the building back further, he'd be changing the 38 to a 28, which would be,
And then he'd be losing the parking.
well, and he'd be needing a variance to, he'd be needing to change that varied amount.
He'd still have to maintain the 25 in the rear though, between the parking and the building.
So is that what the standards should be for the rear? So without a
It's for
variance,
parking.
what's the rear?
It's parking to building.
The rear, if you're not counting the parking, it's right, it's the 40, right?
And it's
With not
already,
counting the
40.
park.
and it's already been reduced. I'm saying hard line from unit 1 to the rear of the parcel's 38 feet.
Yes.
Is what the plan shows.
Yes,
So if you slid it back, you'd be further into it, and it's
Yes.
already been agreed to be 38.
yeah, that it would become even.
So
Unless
either
it's
way,
shorter,
with what,
And then we're saying the ordinance says that you can't include the parking into that. You have to say, you need 25 feet within that front of grassy green yard area, not the parking.
Yeah, the
Without-
variance is between the parking and the buildings,
Right.
not the property line.
right.
In the
So-
front, you need the 25,
In the front, he needs a 20.
but
So
not in the rear, so he could theoretically just go back and say, I need to change this.
Well, no, he would need it for both sides, because it's a 25 feet from the building to the parking area, regardless of where the parking or the building areas are. So for both the north side parking and the south side.
So whichever way he's sliding it, he needs a variance.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's for the green space, right? The green?
Yes, that
the-
green,
the
yes, the green
belt?
space, yes, because
The
it's,
green space in the south.
Is that considered the green belt?
No, it's just the,
Just the way the
yard,
ordinance is written.
yard
it's
space.
just the way the ordinance is written.
What would the green belt be referencing?
Any landscaping, I guess. There's no required green belt.
Yes, there
in
is.
this.
There's
For
a
the
10-foot,
RM district?
and I think general landscaping, there's a 10-foot green belt.
So if he goes back and asks the ZBA for a variance on.
Article 6, Section B, page 20. The minimum required green belt width shall be 10 feet.
All right, this is.
Well, he's got 10 feet all the way
Sarah, I'm
around.
gonna give you, I
Not
don't
if
know
you
if you
include
need
a
for
5-foot sidewalk.
your reference of where that is, in that way, if he
Is it
asks you
10.4?
where, we're looking at that.
It's
It
14
is-
feet.
He's at, oh, you're saying on the sides?
Yeah,
So he's a foot off?
yeah, well, because
No,
I was
I'm
looking
just-
at it for
I'm just trying to do
for
the
the
math.
green space, yeah.
Okay, right, it's Article 11, it's Section 11.03. It would be number 4.
The asterisks.
It's the asterisk where it specifies the required yard, it's 25 feet.
So that's what he needs to go back
Yes.
and get a
Because
variance for.
Because he's got the variance for this part here, but that front across the front is not gonna meet, okay. Okay, so, do we,
I'd also like to look at Article 6, Section B then, number 1 with the 10-foot green belt requirement.
were you at Article 6?
But if I get the variance on the side, I might.
That's the gap between the buildings and the yard, not the gap for the green. I understand that we're lapping things up.
It's like piling up here.
I get it.
I mean, it wasn't in the original report, that's the only thing you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? It's
I do.
going back, pushes everything back, another 2 months, so it's just questionable.
Okay, so,
Do you want to wait for that answer?
yeah, I'm sorry, she's still looking, thank you.
Not seeing, I see a landscaping thing, but I'm not seeing anything requiring a 10-foot green belt at the moment. And I was just told to refer to your online ordinance because it's the most up-to-date and not rely on the hard copy. So that's what I'm trying to follow.
There's, let's see what section it is, just so I can view it. 6.01. Section B.
a lot of times we have landscaping requirements that are for a particular use or a screening purpose, but when it comes to residential in the RM district, I'm not seeing anything that specifies you must have a yard. Think about, your garage or accessory building, you can be only 5 feet off, but then I'm not seeing
Right.
anything.
Okay.
Obviously, it's the RM district, it's different, but at the same time, I can't see anything that's coming off, and I'm using the source that I was told to refer to.
Okay,
so.
that's fine. All right.
If I find information, I can relay it
Yes,
to the
thank
you.
applicant, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna have an epiphany tonight on this right now.
That's okay. I know we're putting you on the spot. All right, so we need to make a motion.
To table this or to send it back table it until we can get a variance on it? Let's make a motion to postpone it.
Sending it back.
Yeah, we're going to send it back to ZBA.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, make a motion to send it back to the ZBA then for
I
the.
don't know if we can send it back there, can we?
We can postpone a decision, it's up to the applicant. what
Yeah,
they'd like to
we're
do.
not sending it.
No,
He'd have to.
you want us to postpone it is what you want.
Well, that's what we'd have to do. It's on him if he wants to go back to ZBA. We're not sending it there.
Yeah, because, you guys can't make a decision on it until I have the variance or something, so.
So I'd make a motion that we postpone it.
Second.
Okay, let's do a roll call. How's that?
Webb,
Yes.
Justin Parker,
Yes.
Minton,
Yes.
Grandstaff,
No.
Hale,
Yes.
Bill Parker,
Yes.
Fowler.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you.
All right, I'll
Thank
get
you.
set up and try to get that variance for you guys.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate your time.
ZBA for 25 feet. And it's got 10.
All right, so we are on item B. This is Kemp Building and Development. It is for 70001 Powell Road, between 32 and 33 Mile Road. This is a preliminary site plan review, correct?
So it's a preliminary site condo review.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Yeah, we're gonna, we gotta switch paperwork here.
Thanks, buddy.
Here.
Clips on
Like that. Keep falling off the thing.
Mine did too.
Everyone, are we good? Everyone's got their, we're switching, we're good? Okay, we're good. Okay. Thank you.
So tonight, we're having a preliminary review of a proposed site condominium development. No buildings are being proposed at this time. The applicant is proposing how they would like to essentially divvy up the land, which is allowed through the state's Condo Act as opposed to the Subdivision Act. And so they've provided their proposal of how they would like to divide up the land into essentially 10 different lots, and as well as provide a access drive off Powell Road to have access to those lots, a part of Parcel 1. There is a second parcel that's also part of this. I'll let the applicant speak on what the vision for that was. But basically, we're looking at how they're proposing to turn that one parcel into 10 units. Doesn't meet the requirements of the industrial district. The minimum lot size for a lot in the industrial district is 20,000 square feet with a lot width of 100 feet. All the proposed lots meet this standard. Again, no buildings are proposed at this time. But if any buildings are eventually to be built on those lots, they would have to come back to planning for site plan approval for development on that lot. When we do a site condo review, We make sure that the proposal meets the standards for the district. And then we have design standards, which kind of defer to what your subdivision design standards are. And it appears to meet most of those standards except for your road designs. In section 13-94, it says that the maximum length of a cul-de-sac and U-shaped streets in a subdivision measured from the intersection of the right-of-way lines to the extreme depth of the turning circle along the center line of the street shall be 600 feet. Well, the proposed cul-de-sac for this site condominium proposal, I believe exceeds that. I didn't have the exact number, but just based on the length of the frontages along the roadway, it exceeded that amount. It says exceptions may be made for extreme topographic conditions. Exceptions shall not be made for the purpose of avoiding an extension of the streets to connect with adjoining unplanted or platted parcels. The way they've designed it, I think it makes sense. It's very similar to what neighboring industrial developments are in this area. A lot of those cul-de-sacs are longer than what's being proposed here. But this is what your ordinance says. So if the applicant can perhaps provide an explanation of how maybe they are eligible for this exception, or they may have to go to ZBA for a variance depending on what's going on with this property. It says all streets and roads shall be dedicated to the public where necessary to maintain the continuity of the public road system. Everything has to be designed according to the construction standards of the village engineer. Again, we have to defer to the village engineer on this, and once we have a plan that, once whatever a preliminary plan is approved, it would get sent to the next step with the phase 2 would get sent to the village engineer to make sure that all those standards are met for the road. They have marked where utilities are available on this property, and again, we have standards for final acceptance. The village shall require all the appropriate inspections at the applicant's expense after construction of the condominium subdivision. And as-built reproducible Mylar of the complete site improvements, excluding dwelling units, is to be submitted to the village council for review by the village engineer. A final certificate of occupancy and any construction bond or letter of credit will not be released to the developer owner until the as-built Mylar has been reviewed and accepted by the village. We should talk to the village attorney and see if that is still standard or if there's another way those records are kept these days. But again, that's the final stage, but I just want to make the planning commission aware of what the final steps were should this be moved forward to the second stage. So, I believe the site condominium plan meets the standards of the industrial district, and it does meet the elements of the design elements of the subdivision ordinance with the exception of the cul-de-sac. So if the applicant's able to provide information to show that they are eligible for this topographic exception, and if not, they can go before ZBA to get a variance for having the cul-de-sac that length. The Planning Commission should discuss this matter with the applicant and determine what solutions are available.
Okay, thank you. Sure, but yeah, please.
Good evening. So I'm hoping I can shed a little light on this whole project because I want to make sure everyone understands there's a lot of information on there because this condominium had been fully approved and permitted some years ago. And we've actually, the only reason we came back in is we're shortening the cul-de-sac. The cul-de-sac was substantially longer when we got everything approved. And as time has gone by, we developed the parrot court that's to the south of that park. I don't know if any of you remember this site, but it was a pretty gnarly site. A lot of dilapidated buildings. We knocked down 9 dangerous-looking buildings that they used to run all kinds of little businesses out of, and but it was Mr. Bomarito, I think, could tell you he didn't like driving out there because he got flat tires and stuff. It was the Wild West out there. So when we purchased it, we got that first phase, developed that, and it just, over time, we didn't get to developing it. We had other things going on. So as we've been kind of studying the market, we believe it would be better to have one big site towards the back, because there's fewer and fewer large sites for those 100,000, 200,000 square foot buildings. So that was our reason for coming back in to adjust the cul-de-sac. Like if you as you see on there, there's the detention basin. That's already been built. That was built in phase one. Most of those utilities are installed on that site. So our permits expired from the county for the road, some of the different permitting, we had to start over. So we came in and we were hoping that maybe some of the people are still on the board that would remember seeing this when it came through before. So we're not like reinventing the wheel, we're really adjusting shrinking the cul-de-sac to get it closer to your ordinance. I think the net result is we're getting a better design.
So you're basically saying parcel 2 will only be developed if it's part of that unit 5?
Correct. We'll combine it. We can combine it. I'm not sure if it's not already.
It's not on here.
Yeah, the engineer, may have missed that may have been required
And it should be.
when we did phase one. For some reason in the back of my head, I think that's all been.
Yeah, that would be a stipulation for me.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, the Land Division Act doesn't allow you to landlock parcels.
No.
With this being a parent tract with singular ownership since the 70s.
Yeah.
It's never been landlocked before.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it was left over and not.
Yeah, it's a separate, obviously, it's a separate parcel now, but it's had common ownership since the 70s.
This is the old interface plant?
What's that?
Is this the old interface plant?
Where they made the concrete pipe?
Yeah, interface.
Yep.
Okay,
We bought it from Jed Harold.
yeah.
I went through a lot of deeds to figure out when it became one.
Yeah.
So what our ordinance, the way it reads on here, okay, so we can only do a cul-de-sac street. It can't be greater than 600 feet, right? So I did that rough math too, so we're at about 100 feet over that. I did the same thing, I just took those frontages of those properties and added them up, and it's like
About
690.
Just under
It's just under 700,
Yeah.
so you're like 100 feet over the,
Maybe over that,
Right.
because that's just to the
That's
back
just a
of
rough-
6,
yeah, I
and
just
then you
did
still
the-
got the cul-de-sac itself. So you're,
so what would,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
it says exceptions may be made for extreme topographic conditions, like what's, are
That's
those,
for the applicant
those
too.
apply here or they don't, is this, because I know the other thing is if you want that, it has to go to ZBA, right, if we need to do over the 600. So I guess if there's any topographic conditions that,
I guess it's all landlocked around
Right.
there. They're providing an access drive, to, I guess, to have it at 600 would, possibly essential, I don't know. It's up to it's something the applicant has to reason with you guys on it.
So if it's
Yeah.
not a cul-de-sac, is this just for cul-de-sac? So if it was just a straight
It's
road?
just for cul-de-sacs.
So if this was just a straight road, it would be fine.
If it connected up with something, and I understand the reasoning is, when we think of site condominiums and subdivisions, we're usually thinking of something residential, but it can be applied to any
Right.
kind of development. So you don't want to run into a situation where everything is always a cul-de-sac, but your industrial district is kind of set up to have these dead-end
Right.
streets. Because back there along there, you got the Macomb Orchard Trail, you can't get access to there. There's really nowhere else to connect or make a connecting street in theory,
Right.
correct?
So really, it's just, if we send them to the ZBA, we're just doing an exercise in government.
Right, most of the time I've dealt with this in the past, is when you go to a cul-de-sac like this, there's a certain depth where they say you have to sprinkle residential.
Yeah. and
That's the scenario.
That's right.
And a plant that's going on 5 is gonna be sprinkled because it's gonna be gigantic.
Is there gonna be fire hydrants? down
Oh, yeah,
there?
there's already hydrants,
So
not
my understanding from past
along the new
employment,
road.
that wasn't the main reason for a depth of a cul-de-sac, was so that if you only had a hydrant at the street, you would have enough supply hose on a truck to pull to be able to get back to the back of that cul-de-sac. So to exceed that without having hydrants would be an issue. But if it's gonna be hydrants all the way down, sprinkled in the larger buildings, I don't see a major concern as long as the cul-de-sac's big enough to make a full turn with the truck and not have to back out.
Yeah, I don't think we need to really send this around.
You know what, I take that back about the combining of the lots, now that I'm thinking about it. We're happy to do it, but the cul-de-sac went all the way back to touching that, so we didn't need to combine it. So that's the reason why it wouldn't have been, but our absolute intention would that to be,
Okay.
one large parcel.
Right, to have almost 20-acre parcel in the back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's our biggest crux right now is
The length of the cul-de-sac is
Yes,
what we're
that's-
discussing.
Yeah, that's, I think
So it
that-
was contingent on that parcel being combined and
Yeah.
never allowed to split.
And not to feed a topographical concern, but mine is, as Karen said, it's trapped against Macomb Orchard Trail, and it's trapped against Ford. Everything past that is owned by Ford. So you're
Correct.
counting on Ford to do something when they never really have to, ever. And it's the undeveloped portion of the Ford land, it's been that way since the 50s, and they never touched it back there.
And their only other option in theory would be a U street, but you have the same issue, you can't exceed the 600 again.
Right.
Yeah, but
And
there's-
then you're running into issues where possibly now your lots might not also.
Yeah, they
Right. Yeah, you're,
Given the shape of the parcel, there really is there's nothing else they can do with this than what they've done.
yeah, it's an odd lot.
I think it's good.
Contingent, are you good with that?
Yeah, contingent on protecting the parcel, yeah. We just don't want to trap a piece of valuable
Yeah,
industrial
100%.
land that can never be touched. It's either that or it gets an easement of necessity permanently, which no one ever wants to deal with.
Anyone else? I'm good on that. Would you like to make that motion?
I'd make a motion to approve this for preliminary site plan approval with the condition that parcel 2 is combined with unit number 5.
Second. Unreversible.
You can't split it once it's done anyway, it's a site
Okay.
condo.
That's right.
Second.
Mr. Webb, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we need your roll call, please.
Fowler,
Yes.
Grandstaff,
Yes.
Hale,
Yes.
Minton,
Yes.
Bill Parker,
Yes.
Justin Parker,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
I mean, if Ford wants to buy it, let us know, we can probably amend it.
All right, that brings us to our last item of discussion here. It's, the one we added, it would be C. It's our discussion that, Mr. Bill Parker. 1, 2,
The village council was within a twitch of adopting an ordinance, which they can't do without a public hearing, and they realized that you can have multi-use buildings with residents and commercial in the central business district, and so they discussed the concept of, should the parking in lieu be applied against residential, and apparently there's some vagueness here, and they sent the whole thing off to the attorney to come up with appropriate wording so that they can discuss it. And essentially, the project which we had on a preliminary basis before us would be the poster child for what they were thinking about or talking about, where if you applied the parking in lieu for all the residential units, you can, guy writes a check and that's it. And so the question would be whether or not we as a group, as the planning commission, have some thoughts on whether or not they should adapt such an ordinance, and/or in where there are multi-use buildings, should the parking in lieu requirement be allowed at all, period? Because how are you going to define, and we'll use the thing that was before us, are the sites there strictly for the residents, and then he can pay conversationally $800 or $8,000 for the other 8 ones that he required? And obviously, there's no way of determining that, so the question that I'm bringing up is, should we offer an opinion as to the applicability of the parking in lieu in multi-use structures? I think I said that the way I wanted to.
Very elegant, Bill.
Wasn't that terrific? Okay, guys, that's what was before the village council. I actually listened to this, and Shelley was there, so. Anybody have any comments? Would be.
I don't think you should apply to the residential units above.
I don't either.
But I think saying that it can't apply to a mixed-use building, saying that the first floor commercial can't use it because it has residential above it, causes an issue with me, because I don't really like grandfathering in anything. I don't think because you've been here, you get away with it, is a good reason for me to allow anything. So you have all down that whole street on both sides, there's residential above, and they've all been able to, not all, some of them have parking spaces, most of them don't.
But they've been there since
And I get that.
1900.
And I get that, but I think that opening that can of worms, if one of them burns down, now you can't put it back. I think that commercially, I'm okay with the payment in lieu of parking commercially if the fee is substantial enough to eventually provide a means of alleviating this in the future. It's okay.
I agree with you, but they've reduced it down to 100?
Yeah, and it's
temporary.
And I don't, and without doing studies, I don't know what the right number is.
Right, but that's up to them.
And that's up, and absolutely, it's up to them.
It gets into a sticky situation when if you do allow residential in that district to do the payment in lieu of, and you're paying for spots that aren't 24 hours. And then where do you push those people? They can't park on the street, and if you can't provide, I think it's 300 feet for parking, it's just an issue all around.
And that's my thing, businesses close, theoretically, businesses close. So they don't need that spot 24 hours a day, they go home. But residentially, you need that space 24 hours a day, you shouldn't be able to alleviate that with a fee, to me.
So maybe we should make a motion that.
We can't make a motion, we can discuss.
We can just discuss this.
Because it was added
Okay.
to the agenda, it wasn't on previously.
Right. Okay.
So if the discussion weighs that way.
Can we advise the council of our concerns?
I would, yet again, just recommend that anyone that wants to express that concern come to the meeting and speak during the public comment.
You could attempt to charge the ex officio to give your feelings. You could attempt. You could attempt.
If anyone on this board or this commission would like to send me an email, text,
I will
or
send
some
you.
type of written communication,
I like it.
postgram, telegram, something, I will relay that information.
Telegram, fax.
How about a pigeon?
Morse code.
Morse code.
You might have to send a pigeon way up there.
Okay. So our options would be we can either communicate with your ex officio here, send him something in writing that he can relay, or attend the meeting so you can express your concerns during public comment. Okay? Good.
May I make a
Yes.
comment for something to keep in mind? All residential units in CBD district are still special land use, which means you guys have to deem whatever is being proposed is gonna be appropriate, whether that's one apartment building or much more than one, regardless of what happens between now and then and what happens with payment in lieu. Just don't forget that. Residential units are always special land use, and and part of that is making sure that there's not going to be a parking conflict.
And correct me if I'm wrong, special land use cannot go to the ZBA, correct?
No, you can't go to ZBA. All special land use decisions by the planning commission
Are final.
Perfect. Alrighty then. Okay, Okay, that brings us to our last item, adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
That was Bill Parker.
Parker, Brian Mitten.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody?
I was looking for something else and I found it.